Hello and welcome to Needing a Meeting. My name is Carol. I will be your host today. How's everybody doing? Rip Curl Readiness, it's really good to see you. And I have been here and I have.
If you
Hello,
dare.
hello.
Hey, how are you
There we
guys
go.
doing?
Not bad.
Not
Not bad.
bad.
I
For a Monday, even in the government work.
I yes. I'm not in government work, but thankfully, unfortunately, I do deal with them from time to time. So
Right.
you brought up an interesting question, and I dug and dug and dug, and it was about the OJ trial, about why the jury decided what they did, and there's a lot of answers to it. Um, one of the prosecutors seriously dropped the ball. The
Yeah.
best evidence that they had, the DNA evidence, was explained by Dr. Fung, who did a really poor job of explaining it. And uh, they asked him at one point if the blood was visible on the socks, because that's where they got the 1 in 6.8 billion, you know, 1.68 billion chance. They asked him, "Is the blood visible?" And he just said, "No." He didn't say it doesn't have to be. It's microscopic. It's still of suitable. He
Oh.
just said that, and ultimately, it goes on and on. There's tons of reasons, but the ultimate answer was because they had been sequestered for 8 months, couldn't drink, watch television, or see their parents or see their family, that they kind of revolted against the system. And that's what juries, it turns out it's actually what juries do after they've been sequestered for that long. It's been studied quite, and I was unaware of this because I don't
Oh
study,
my
I don't study
gosh.
that kind of thing. But it turns out it's an actual phenomenon that if you sequester people for that long, they tend to get, and they weren't paying, after 8 months, they weren't they really weren't paying attention anymore, and all they figured, the thing is, it's not like they set out to do that, but they figured there was so much doubt planted by because of the Furman thing, because Furman, he, they said, "Did you ever say the N word?" He said no, and they came up with all this evidence saying, "You did say this, you said this in an interview," and they played it. And I was unaware of this. Furman said his director in law enforcement, LAPD, should not be, that women should not be put placed in that position. And the person he named was Judge Ito's wife. And that created a whole, I had no idea. It was
Oh
all
my
the, yeah,
gosh.
the story, the short of it is, the prosecution seriously dropped the ball. And it turns out a lot of the evidence, I thought they didn't even try to admit a lot of the evidence that we knew about.
Didn't even try
They
to.
they didn't explain the Bruno Mali shoes, which were so specialized, and 1 in a gazillion chance of having that exact shoe. They didn't even explain that in court. That this was custom and this and that. They didn't even bother, but they did in the civil trial, which is what got him convicted. And of course, they also
Wow.
explained the blood evidence in the civil trial. So, yeah, that was the short of it.
My other's keeper, Scott Nay, welcome.
Hello,
And Love
hello.
Plant Freak. And hello, Crystal.
Hello.
How are you?
Hanging in there.
Right on.
Thank you for allowing me to get all that out because, yeah, when I started finding that stuff out, I was like, holy crap, they actually had a reason. I didn't realize it.
That's insane, though.
But
Hello,
yeah,
Black Cat. Hey,
I didn't
Zelda.
realize.
Sorry.
I just didn't realize they were sequestered all that time. I thought it was a given that they could
No, I think
see
I
their
knew
loved
that they
one.
were sequestered.
But yeah, I,
And
I thought,
I had forgotten that the trial went on for that long.
yeah, 8 months is a long time. And I
That's a
was looking
long time.
at the schedule, and there was like weeks where there's nothing going on. It's like you guys have to sit in a hotel room. You can't watch TV.
You can't?
Yeah, they
No,
couldn't watch
because it's
TV.
on the television.
They couldn't drink. They couldn't see their loved ones. So they're just literally sitting there. It's kind of like being in prison for that long. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh my.
Wow.
But yeah, it was
Wow.
So
And here people were thinking that the Johnny Depp Amber Heard trial was long. You know, like they felt bad for that jury. I'm like, yeah, I feel bad for the jury when they have to be sequestered. I really, really do. Don't get me wrong. But I'm sorry, there's been multiple other trials in history that the jury has been sequestered for even longer. What about those people? Come on.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, it seems like there shouldn't be any reason you can't get your evidence presented within a 4 to 8 week time frame.
yeah, I would love to hear what Johnny's thoughts would be on that with his exposure.
Yeah. Hey, Gypsy Daisy, good to see you. Did I say hey, Zelda and Scott Nay and my other's keeper? And
Yeah.
Okay.
My brain's getting better with keep track mode.
Wish we televised the trial in Canada. Yeah. Nothing ever had the attention level of that OJ trial. That's true. That was a whole new world opened up there, allowing that much camera in the courtroom thing, and I feel very greeted. Good. Well, how are you? How are you, Crystal?
Waiting.
Still waiting. Okay.
Hopefully this week.
Hey, Henny.
Well, hopefully in the next couple of days I'll hear that I have a place.
Okay.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah. Good deal. Yeah. And you, Plant Freak, what you up to?
It's a busy week. You know what? It's always a busy week coming up to, significant dates in my situation. But I'm also trying to keep myself busy as well this week because it's slower than the previous time. So I'm grateful that have been helping Christy out with her channel. So I've gotten things to do there. I can have a headphone in and listen to Christy at chipmunk speed because she already speaks fast, I tell you. Okay. Now put her on 1.5 speed. And that is like a day's worth of just comedy, even if she's saying something serious. So, I'm grateful for having that opportunity there. And, I'm going to go, wow, took a second there to get that stutter out. But I'm going to go thrift shopping on Thursday. The rental car situation turned into a bit of a disaster, but I booked train tickets.
Oh, no.
I have to cab from the town that I'm at to a different town for the closest train station. That's about a tank of gas right there that would have taken me to Ontario. So, but what, the train tickets are cheaper than the rental. They're half price of the rental. I end up saving a little bit of money, so all in all, it's the universe going, woman, you should have just booked train tickets in the beginning. So, but I'm still going. I'm going to get 3 full days, in Ontario. I'm going to get 3 full days with a good friend of mine. It's going to be good. It's still recharge time. I'm not canceling it, and I'm making sure I wasn't canceling it. I was like, okay, that plan wants to be difficult. I'm making another plan. Not letting myself get discouraged. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Zelda wants to know how you're liking your new place.
You know what? I prefer it here. I like the room set up a little bit better. I enjoy the fact that I get to cook once a week. I really, really do, because I've really missed that over the last 5 months at the last place. They had hired a couple people that come in overnight that cook for the week kind of thing. So it was like, oh, but none of this I really want to eat, So I'm going to end up making, what's this week? Shawarma. I don't know if you guys know what shawarma is. But it's Middle Eastern chicken pita. So I'm going to make fresh hummus, shawarma, and tabbouleh salad. With tabbouleh salad's like a parsley and wheat bulgur salad. I love it to death. So Middle Eastern inspired this week. Next week is going to be Thai inspired. So I'm excited. I get to start pulling out some of my recipes again. I just need to make sure I don't like spice people out. Yes, the pink headphones.
Oh, she's got pink headphones. Oh, she's styling. Oh my God.
Now, I've got
Nice.
to tell you a story about these pink headphones, and y'all are going to laugh, and it is totally okay. Laugh at me. They are kids' headphones. I wanted them because they were pink, and so I bought them, and they're kids' headphones, so the volume doesn't go up super loud, so I'm still like, eh? But they're pink, and I love them. I got to switch them around. Hold on. Okay. There we go. That's better. Yeah. So that's the story with the pink headphones. So,
Right on.
yeah. Crystal, how are you? If I missed it, did you get any news?
Not yet.
Okay,
It ended up getting pushed back till the board meeting was supposed to be today.
uh-huh.
So hopefully I'll hear in the next couple of days.
Cool.
Yeah.
I did have some interesting news though on the weekend.
Okay.
All
Yeah,
right.
tell.
Thursday ended up being extremely stressful,
Mm.
and with a friend, someone I thought was a friend,
Mhm.
kind of pushing, and I kind of said, like, look, I need my space right now. I don't need people to keep asking me what's going on.
Right.
And she got mad about the whole thing, and I ended up just saying, okay, whatever, and had about 6 different comments from her after I stopped responding.
Gosh.
Christy and I talked for a little bit, and that really helped.
Good.
But because of all of that, plus having the live with Kim on my other's keeper and everything else that was going on that day, and my real estate agent
Mm-hmm.
not wanting to listen, and me pretty much telling her, like, look, I need to go, and hanging up on her. With all of that, I ended up with a bad headache, and thankfully Kim said, come stay here for the weekend. So I did, and the headache got bad again on Friday night. So on Saturday, we spent the day in the city and at the drop-in clinic.
Oh, fun.
But at the clinic that my doctor is normally at.
Mhm.
And because I was starting to think that these headaches were blood pressure related.
Oh, okay.
But the doctor actually told me that no, it doesn't look like they're blood pressure headaches. They're actually migraines.
Oh, fun.
No.
Those suck.
Oh,
I hate those.
The thing is, they don't, light and sound do not affect them.
Mm-hmm.
It's just movement affects them.
Okay.
Go figure.
Wow.
Yeah.
And otherwise they kind of, they get as bad as they can, and then I puke and have the runs and whatever, and then I start feeling better.
Right.
This
Did they
time
give
they
you
didn't get,
any medicine?
they did end up giving me some medication that I can take when they first start, and then I can take like 1 pill every 3 hours or something, up to 4 pills a day or whatever, which I probably won't end up taking. I did end up taking one on Saturday, and the headache went away. Headache's still there a little tiny bit today.
Yeah.
It's come back, but it's manageable enough that I don't need to take the meds that the doctor gave me. But it was just nice to find out that, okay, no, it isn't actually blood pressure. It is just really bad headaches. What are you doing, Leo?
Those can be, I suffer from those, and they can be debilitating. Mine last for about 3 or 4 days. sometimes it hurts to breathe, and everyone is different. Sometimes the light doesn't bother me. They always last 3 to 4 days. Like that's just, and then I get what I call like a migraine hangover because you feel really weird and kind of icky after it. And one thing I found, it doesn't. It's not going to take it away, but it is gonna, if you catch it soon enough, like if you start paying attention, you'll start seeing you have little triggers. Like for me, it's I see spots in my eyes or like lightning strikes, like fingers. You will sometimes I smell stuff. So once you get to know what those are, I usually eat fresh ginger and then I drink something with a lot of caffeine and take something with a lot of salt. That helps kind of keep it does. If it's full blown for me, nothing's gonna work. But the medications that they give you, unless they gave you a painkiller, if they gave you like Imitrex or something, those aren't addictive, at least last I heard. So if you need them, take them. You're not gonna become addicted to them. Just some encouragement for you. Like I don't take, I mean, I do BC powder because it gets into my system faster. That's it. But I'm so sorry. Those are brutal. Those are brutal.
The thing is, now I can know how to treat them.
Yeah.
Because even my chiropractor didn't know what the headaches were. All I could say is that they were strange headaches because they weren't like the ones that I had told I had my chiropractor that I used to go to when I was growing up. Mm-hmm. When I described a headache that was a bit different than these to him, he said, "Oh, those are silent migraines." And he was able to actually adjust a spot that made them go away. And now I've got these bad headaches. So now I'm hoping that now the chiropractor I see now will be able to better help me get rid of them. So, but they 9 times out of 10, they start in the evening or in the middle of the night. I wake up with this throbbing at the back of my head and about ready to puke.
Yeah. That's one thing to pay attention to. My migraines, I only get migraines. I wish I had an actual headache. I don't even know what those are like. But my migraines, some of them are related to the barometric pressure. So what I would encourage you to do is get a journal and just write down, like, and pay attention to the weather. If there's a storm coming in, rain or snow. And the thing is, when mine are related to barometric pressure, there is nothing at all that makes it go away. It does not go away until the pressure breaks. When the pressure breaks, it's like a light switch. If I've stressed myself out and I'm having a migraine because of stress, it's a little bit more manageable. But I had to really like write stuff down so that I could figure out what mine were. And now I know, like, especially if it's the middle of the night, sometimes that can be a weather front moving through. I pay attention to the weather, but also certain smells will give me migraines. So like I can't even, when I worked at Longcomb, if anyone opened Olivia Bell around me, it was like instant migraine. It was awful. So like, and it's the color of dye. So I can't, anything that's got like that pink dye in it, I cannot use. So when you figure that part out, especially now that you know they're migraines, the avoidable things you can avoid. Now, like I said, you know, the weather patterns, you're not going to be able to avoid those. But I'm so sorry. But I'm glad that you know what they are, because you're right. Knowledge is power and you can manage it.
Well, I was starting to get concerned that they were high blood pressure. And that was starting to get to me. But knowing that it is an atypical migraine, that helps. Somebody's a little happy to have me home.
Aww, yeah. Gypsy Daisy says, I'm a 15-year sufferer of migraines. It takes time and patience to figure out what works best for you.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And
I'm,
Black
Jen, what
Cat
were you
says
going
his
to
are
ask?
related to lighting.
I'm curious, do coronal mass CME events, solar storm, does that affect
Mhm.
you at all?
Oh, it jacks me up when we had the eclipse, the solar eclipse, that big one. Man, I could not breathe. So solar events definitely do. Eclipses do. Um, Full moons don't really, like the moon phases don't. Sometimes moon phases will affect people, but yeah, I'm just really sensitive to what's going on. So, like the pressure, the solar stuff, eclipses, certain foods, certain dyes, certain smells. I swear, sometimes I feel like I can watch a commercial for migraine medicine and then I've got one. So, I've really
Yeah.
had to learn to kind of like manage my stress. Um, and then, of course, when I was anorexic, it did not help at all. But fortunately, the one good thing with being misdiagnosed was that I had to write everything down. So I did learn a little bit about that. So that was a benefit. I mean, one of the
Mhm.
benefits, like everything else was kind of crappy, but
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
I have found that ice packs on the back of my neck help.
Mhm.
And because my body tenses, I've been taking a half an Ativan
Mm-hmm. One
and just to calm my body down, plus naproxen and whatever else I can throw at it. But
One thing that I got told, and you're right, your body tenses and your shoulders go up because it's so painful. So you're like this. And if you can just, now again, it's not going to make a migraine go away, but it will help a little. It's just to relax your shoulders and breathe. The other thing, too, is I don't know how or why this works, but there's like a pressure point right back here. So Michael will put his hand and he'll
Yeah.
pull up on my head and it relieves it for the whole time he's standing there. And I'm like, no, like try to rip my head off. But when he
Yeah.
releases it, it's almost worse. So I don't have him do that unless it's really bad. And then I'm like, pull on my head. But,
Yeah.
but they're not fun. And the first time anybody ever seen him doing that, like here's this 6'2" and this little 4'10", and he's like pulling on my head, and everybody's like, no, don't break her.
You tried,
Yeah.
have you tried laying down to where your head is off of the end of the bed and have him hold your head up, pull, and work?
Put in. Yeah.
Have you had him do that where you
Oh,
put two fingers and you
Yeah.
basically massage up the neck to the base of the skull? That might.
oh,
There's also two pressure
hey,
points at the
I'll,
base of the skull, right? Well, yeah, I
I'll
can't
Yeah.
have to try that.
work across the camera, but yeah.
I
Yeah, for me, it's just a cold rice bag
Hmm.
because it forms to my neck. It's not as intense, and I just tell everybody like, I'm sorry, I'm out of commission. Yeah, it's
another thing that quite often will work is I do a blend of essential oils,
mm-hmm.
lavender, peppermint, eucalyptus in sweet almond oil,
Oh, nice.
and put that on
Does that work?
sometimes.
I have tried everything. I found a topical thing once that kind of worked, but then I could never find it again. So, for me, I just kind of like most of mine are related to the weather, and I just know there's not anything
Mhm.
I can do. So it's nice to know that at least there's nothing I can do. I'm like, I've got to just let this pass. But man, it's like a light switch. And so and thankfully summer's not too bad. Winter is brutal. Winter's bad for me because of all of the snow and the excuse me,
Black Cat
pressure.
wants to know if you've had an accident, such as a car, bike, or something that triggered the neck out of place.
I have had back problems ever since I was little.
Mm.
I guess I fell down the stairs when I was little. I've also broke
Oh.
my tailbone about 3 different times. I
Oh.
sprained my back. Yeah.
Wow.
I have 3 vertebrae at the base that are not aligned. They're all off, and shortening of vertebrae.
Hmm.
I have osteoarthritis of the spine.
Oh,
So
okay. I was wondering if that was spinal bifida, but I guess that's I guess
no,
osteoporosis. Yeah. Okay.
it's hereditary.
Hmm.
My mom, the three vertebrae at the bottom of her spine were also misaligned.
Hmm.
So
Gosh.
Okay.
I've
Wow.
had 7 migraines my entire life, and I do not want 8. Mine came about after I was put on an antidepressant, which is interesting.
Wow.
So
And
yeah,
and didn't they went away after you stopped taking it?
no, I've had them ever since.
Yeah. I've gotten
I've had
migraines since I was about 15. I got into a really, really bad car accident with my foster parents. I was in the passenger driver's seat. The engine came out on my lap and I had severe whiplash. That started the migraines, and I was already in puberty. So once my periods came every month, I would get a severe migraine every month. And then I ended up getting into another accident 5 years ago that heightened them. And around the same time, I started taking bipolar meds, which were causing what I called brain snaps. So I would lose like half a second of like, it would be black. Nobody could notice it was happening to me, but I'd come back, my whole body was tingly, and then I would get a migraine after that.
Oh man.
So my poor body has been through the ringer, but I've learned that if I take myself away from a screen, I turn off all of the lights, and I take a hot shower, and then I get in a cold bath. I have to make sure I'm submerged to my chin in the bath. I'm able to at least manage the migraine. It won't go away, but I'll at least manage it. The strong coffee. I've got to see if I've got that powder stuff in Canada that you've been talking about, Christy.
It's amazing. It works a lot quicker because it's powder. You just put it on your tongue and it absorbs faster than swallowing a pill and waiting 30 minutes.
And I don't like taking any pharmaceuticals now. I'm too afraid. So now I'm just like, I won't even talk to the doctor about it because I don't want them to prescribe me something. Like, go shove it, doctors.
That's really the only thing I do take is either BC powder or goodies, if you can find them. That's really the only thing I take. Mine are also related to my menstrual cycle and hormones. And I was hoping that, now that I'm a woman of a certain age, that it would stop, but it hasn't. So I don't think I'm ever going to get out of it. But they're nasty, and mine aren't hereditary. I don't know where mine came from. I guess my brain just decided to like go its own way. It's like, oh, let's do this. And I only laugh about it because it's just, everybody who knows me knows when I'm like, I've got a migraine, like, especially if I say I just got a migraine, you're not going to hear from me for like 3 days. And I can't get the room dark enough. Like a dark room and a cold room is really helpful. And any home remedy, any over-the-counter remedy, anything you can try, I have tried. And once I realized that it was mostly like hormonal or barometric, there's just not anything. So if you can't do anything for it and all you've got to do is suffer through it, then you just, I just kind of batten the hatches down and I'm like, don't talk to me.
Yeah.
Do high
can go away.
high voltage transmission lines affect you at all, Christy?
Yeah.
Those are the ones that are real high up. The taller as a general rule, the taller the pole, the higher the voltage is. But I was just
I haven't really been around those for a long time, but I'll tell you what really affects me. And thankfully, the last job I had, they were extremely understanding about my migraines because I looked like, oh man. But the lights, the like lights in the store, what are those called? Fluorescent lights.
Yeah.
Man, those murder my head. So like it could be manageable when I go in and then I see fluorescent lights. It's really bad. So in my office, what I would do is I would wear sunglasses and then I would have them take, because I had 2 fluorescent bulbs, I'd have them take the one closest to my computer out. I'd turn the brightness way down and I just sat in a dark office and walked around with sunglasses on. And fortunately they let me do it, but at that particular job, there were only 2 of us doing the job and we were managing multi-million-dollar accounts. So like we couldn't go home. So I had to be there. And yeah, I promised myself if I ever had anybody working with me, I would be like, no, go home, lay down. I'll figure it out, like something. But it was, they're nasty. And I feel really bad for anybody that has to deal with those, because it's not just your head, like you said, Crystal, it's throwing up, it's other ends, it's muscle tension, it's your whole body, it's not just your head.
And I find afterwards, if I'm not really careful of keeping at least something in my stomach, I feel sick again.
Yeah.
And that lasts for a good week or 2 after.
Yeah.
Like right now, that's what I'm dealing with right now is the needing to make sure that there's stuff in my stomach.
Yeah.
And not getting too hungry.
I'm actually surprised fluorescent lights don't cause more people problems, because they're actually, you think they're solid on, but they're actually flashing at
flickering
120 twice, yes, 120 times a second. It's actually doing this constantly. So I'm just surprised people don't have more effects by them,
or more seizures, flickering like that.
A lot of places are changing the fluorescents to LEDs, but they look the same.
They do, but also coming from an electrical standpoint, because I'm an electrical engineering technician, coming from an electrical standpoint, they function the same way, LED bulbs. Now you're adding in a blue level that comes from computer screens, TV screens that are now causing different sections of the brain to trigger. This is going to create a whole new problem.
Oh, wow.
Dear.
So they're replacing it. Yes, it's more energy efficient, but how many people have the blue light issue? Those LED bulbs have that blue light. So I love electrical, but at the same time, it's like some of the solutions they don't make sense to me, because we're just going to create another problem.
Right.
I went through a windshield in 1991. The doctor said then said the body travels for years, as being your body stays in that motion forever.
Oh,
wow.
Oh my word.
And blue light sucks. Ooh.
Yeah, it does.
Well,
I need to get my glasses back that have the filter. Oh, good news. No, let's talk about good news.
I have good news. So I officially found out Michael's next job is in Alaska, which is really good news. So he's going to be going to the slope. It's called the Northern Slope. We call it the slope. But he's going to be in Kaparik, up by Prudhoe Bay, up by the by the Arctic Circle. Sure. So I'm not going to be able to go with him because it's a man camp. So, spouses, girlfriends, dogs, pets are not allowed. So I'm going to go stay with my friend in Kansas while he's up there. So I'll be in Kansas for the next 3 to 6 months. I'm not really sure how long. But the cool thing is I'll have like some really cool flowers and some different backgrounds and stuff like that. So that'll be good. And I think his job should be done on Friday. So it'll take us about 3 days to travel to Kansas. So you guys probably won't see me while I'm traveling, but once I get in and settle down, I'll be there for a while. So it'll be fun.
Well, the nice thing about Kansas is it's closer to Wisconsin. And in Wisconsin, as we all know, cheese is cheese.
She needs to stock up on the cheese.
Right.
So I may have AI generated a picture of Christy, like a Halloween picture of her, into a angry hobbit who's chucking cheese. I may have done this. I may have needed some like entertainment last night, and that was my entertainment.
So it looks really good. I was like, oh wow, I got like long flowy hair and like elf ears. I'm like, oh hey, I kind of like that. But yeah, so I'm on to the next place. The worst part of this is just waiting for sure. So I'm hoping Friday is it, and we can be on the road. And then she breeds AKC champion, like really good bloodline Frenchies, the cute little French with the smushy faces. So she's got like 32 of them, like no joke. So we're gonna do like Frenchie Fridays, and we're gonna have like the little dogs running around because they're just so cute. So we're gonna do that occasionally. So yeah, I've got a lot of really cool things in mind. I'm hoping to do some night shows because the sunset in Kansas is so beautiful. So yeah, so you guys will get to see some places, and then if I go to Colorado, you guys will get to come along with that. So yeah.
And I'll be traveling the same time as Christy, so I'm going to do my best to make as many as I can. It'll be the Monday, Tuesday next week I can make it, and then Wednesday I'm going to be on another train, another one of those train moments. But I'm going to try the mic this time, just no camera, see if it works better. Because the last time I tried it with the camera, I was a little bit worried about the people around me. Like I didn't want to put other people on camera, and I've got my earbuds. So I feel like I can make it work, and just it's like being on a phone call at that point, right?
Hold on.
Tony, I am going to be closer to Colorado. So I'm going to be in Wichita. So from actually, it's Augusta, but from Wichita to my mom's front door is about 8 hours. From St. Louis to where I'm going to be is 6 hours. So I'm closer to Colorado, but kind of in the middle and toward the bottom a little bit.
Selfishly, I'm looking forward to those night streams because I want to see those sunsets so badly.
Yeah. Well, then you can hear, like, you can see the lightning bugs and like hear the acadias like in the back, which only live in the South in the States. They're not like in Colorado. You don't have fireflies or those. So I'm pretty excited. It'll be good. So it's some different scenery. We won't have Michael coming in, but he does. The good thing is that with him being up there, because the state regulates, it's so regulated, the oil industry up there. He works for so many days straight, and then he is required to take a certain amount of time off. And then the company flies him to wherever he wants to go. So they can fly him back to Wichita, or like I could fly up to Alaska and meet him up there for a weekend or something like that. And with Mindy, my friend, she'll be able to watch all of the animals for me so I can go. So that'll be cool.
Tony B says, I live in the middle of Missouri and Columbia. I'm 2 hours from both St. Louis and Kansas City.
Oh, nice. Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Tony knows what I'm talking about with those pretty sunsets.
They're
gorgeous. And actually the wheat fields are super cool. And I grew up in Kansas. I spent my first 16 years there. So I might even just take y'all on a little tour. And I'm going to have Mindy on so we can tell stories on each other when we were kids, because there are some crazy stories, y'all.
Nice.
So it should be good. It should be good. I'm pretty excited. So yeah, I just wanted to share my good news, So Zelda, let me tell you how much these dogs go for. Her dogs, because like I said, they're AKC certified, they've got championship bloodlines, are $2,500.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, oh Lord, don't let me break one of your dogs. I'm like, she goes, you can hold him and help me feed him. I'm like, Yeah, I don't know. I don't want to hurt. I mean, not that I'm going to hurt an animal, but you know what I mean. Just that's a big amount of money. So I'm like, wow. I rescued mine. Mine are feral. So I'm going to be bringing my holler dogs from Kentucky to her like bougie dogs. Should be good.
They're going to take her prim and proper dogs and turn them to the dark side.
Oh, yeah, because you can take the dog out of the holler, but you can't take the holler out of the dog. Sweetie has proven that. So, yeah. Well, so Zelda, I'll answer that. This is kind of funny. I went downstairs to go get towels, and this guy was like checking in, and he's like, "Look at you being all bougie, asking for towels." And I'm like, "Bougie? You think I'm bougie?" And he's like, "I do." And I was like, "What makes you think I'm bougie?" He's like, "Your fingers match your toes. They're perfectly manicured. I just bought my fiance a bunch of clothes. I know where your clothes came from." He's like, "You're bougie." I'm like, I have no makeup on, no eyelashes, my eyebrows aren't on, but you can tell I'm bougie. I'm like, okay, I'll be bougie. I thought it was funny. He's like, "What do you drive?" And the lady behind the counter, she goes, "Honey, her good-looking husband drives a 2015 Corvette." He's like, "Bougie." I'm like, no. I drive an Acadia that smells like wet dogs. Not bougie. I promise there's nothing bougie about you getting into my car. But I thought that was kind of funny because he just looked at me and he was like, "Oh, you're a little extra, aren't you?" I'm like, I mean, I didn't think so, but apparently it's the vibe I give off. I don't know.
Oh my goodness.
I thought that was funny though. I was like,
I love it.
Talk about being profiled and judged by your cover.
Well, if only you saw the headphones that match the perfectly manicured toes and nails as well.
And the purse and the wallet. Yeah, I would just be sunk.
Just saying,
I do get very excited about that. I'm like, look. Michael's like, oh, God, okay, whatever makes you happy, fine. And then I open them up and realize that they're kid headphones and I can't turn the volume up past a certain point. I'm like, I'm old and half deaf. I need to hear. I don't know. So. Right? No, so I'm hoping I found these. I don't know the difference between, but I found some like gaming headphones and they had like the little mic thing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, what's those? Why do they have those? And how come they're not pink? They're only black. I didn't want black. I wanted to be different. So I don't know. Maybe I can find some gaming headphones. I don't know. Maybe somebody can tell me what the difference is. I don't understand. I'm not a gamer. Like, those look cool. I don't know. But yeah, that's about it. With the
Have you already looked at the new phone, like the specs on your new phone? Because if you don't have the plug-in jack, you're going to need Bluetooth ones.
So I do have a plug-in. What I was looking at was the Moto Razr Flip one that folds in half. Like
I really want one. Those look sweet.
I know, and the cameras are amazing in them, and the whole thing. But they're not as expensive as an iPhone. But I'm waiting until they go on sale. I'm like, yeah, I'm not paying that for a phone that I know inevitably I'm going to drop. So I'm gonna wait until. I'm going to wait until it goes on sale. But yeah, so I have checked out the new phone. I'm super excited about it. And I just missed it being on sale by like a couple of days. So, I
only mentioned that because when I got my Google, it was the first time that it was like, oh, this doesn't have a headphone jack in it. And I didn't purchase the Bluetooth headphones. I didn't do any of that. So I was annoyed at that whole process. So that's why I mention it when people say they get new phones now. I'm like, just please look if there's a headphone jack. Right. Just please.
Black Cat, I have pink Xbox gaming headphones you mentioned. Would those work for this? Like, I don't know anything. I don't.
I think it'd be.
They're Bluetooth.
He's
Or, yeah,
Matrix Rabbit says they do work for that.
Okay, cool.
Apparently official gaming headphones, what makes gaming headphones different than most is the fact that this little silly thing is detachable. In official gaming, you can detach this and then run off of a normal mic or whatever.
Well, hey, I'm gonna have to check that out.
And Black Cat wants to know if you're on a Windows machine. Is your computer Windows?
Yes, I have. You guys are going to be so shocked. I have a pink HP computer.
Now she's taking his version to a new level.
It says those Xbox ones will work if you're on Windows.
Oh, okay.
What was the term? Bougie?
Bougie.
Okay. There you go.
And actually, in French, doesn't it mean like kiss or something like that? Like, doesn't bougie mean kiss? I think it doesn't even mean.
It's a slang off of bourgeois.
There we go. Yeah. Well, I'm extra bougie apparently. It's a good thing he didn't see my laptop. He would have been like, "Oh, you're way more than extra." I am very matchy though. That is my one kind of. I don't want to call it OCD because I know people who really have that, and it's not that. It's just I prefer everything to match. And so yeah, it's a little, but I'll have to try though.
Whatever a dongle is, Matrix Rabbit recommends that you use that.
It'd be a little USB key that slams into your computer. It'll take up a USB slot. I'll bet it probably broadcasts over a certain frequency at the headset is.
Okay. Well, that's good to know.
I actually have one. Hold on, I just had to look at it.
Oh, nice.
Plugs into your USB, and then mine has a spot for a mic and a spot for headphones, but you can get ones that are just for mic or just for headphones, because when I come back, I'm going to play with this sucker.
Nice. Okay, awesome. Good. Well, and that's the other thing about being at Mindy's. I'll have a chance to really like get my setup honed in, like I can get what I need and kind of have a chance to practice with it and figure out how to transport it. Because I even have, because of course I do, I have a pink computer case that's all like soft-sided and everything, and it's got lots of pockets and extra room. So I think I can fit everything I need into it. But and I got a pink guitar, like, yeah.
You need to put fuzzy trim on your computer.
I'm not sure if you should keep explaining all the pink, you know?
I know, maybe I should shut up now. But I did name my guitar Gem after Gem in the Holograms. It's pink and black. It's really cool. So I'm pretty excited about that.
Wow.
Yeah, I should shut up. I'm not opening this bougie case.
So now you've been discovering the truth here in a Christian.
Right. that guy can pick bougie women a mile away, apparently. He's like, you're bougie. Sweetie, are you bougie too? Are we going to be bougie together? I'm not going to tell you that her harness and her leash and her collar match, and they're all pink too. You are what did Matrix Rabbit say? You are the chick from Legally Blonde. Actually, my mom has told me that. She's like, Reese Witherspoon really reminds me of you, especially apparently in like Sweet Home Alabama. Or no, well that one, but Walk the Line, where she like is just sitting Johnny Cash like in line. My mom's like, that's you. Like, dress you up in pink and that is you. And I'm like, oh. So I had to watch it in a different way. I'm like, oh, well, okay. I don't know. So, yeah, I think I'm like not any of these things. And then the more I talk, the more I'm like,
We all discover things about ourselves.
Yes. Sweetie McPiglet, I love you, but you go lay down. Go lay down. Be the cute McPiglet and lay down. There we go. Yeah, she got a new nickname, McPiglet, because This dog will eat steak and lobster, and then you can take her for a walk, and she will find an ant-covered little piece of 12-day-old, hamburger, and she'll eat that too. So you have to like really watch her, And I'm like, literally, like, come on, so. But we've only had her 8 months, so I don't think she has really realized yet that she doesn't have to scavenge. So she's still scavenging.
Yeah, that may never go away.
Yeah, I hope it does. I'm like, you have the best, but she doesn't care, so you got to really, if she loves like trash bags. Oh, that's like doggy heaven to her. And I'm like, no, no. So, yeah, I don't know. It's amazing I don't have one of those tiny little dogs that I carry around in a pink case.
Hey, don't say anything. You're going to a Frenchy farm, okay?
Right. I might have to do that just for fun. Like, go get a cute little. I've got a cute little pink sundress, but get one of those little white Frenchy dogs and put a bow on it and like take a picture just for fun.
Bougie AF.
Right? Everybody would be like, I knew it. Shitty Kitty makes so much sense now. Yeah, well, you know what my husband told me? He said that Shitty Kitty and I were a lot alike, and I got seriously offended in my soul. And then I looked at her, and I was like, maybe I should not be so offended. Like, I do kind of, especially here, not you guys, but here, I'm like, what are you doing? Why are you doing that? Don't touch me. Where are you going? So, yeah. But
I love it.
Well,
I want to come back around to the OJ thing.
Yeah.
Where did you find out about the jurors and all that? Is there a documentary or something?
There is one. I found them from different places. I found some stuff in Neuroscience, but there was a video. Let's see if I can remember the guy's name, because the video is read by somebody who just reads, but the person who did the research for it had a lot of in-depth knowledge. It's called Casual Criminalist. A lot of people don't like the host. I do. I get a kick out of his humor, but he just.
Is that a YouTube channel or is that a podcast?
It's a YouTube channel. It's led by a guy named Simon. I can't remember his last name, but he's got a lot of people don't like him. I do. It's got a lot of humor in it in the shows. But yeah, Casual Criminalist, 2 words, and there's just one episode on OJ. And a lot of the stuff that gave me a jumping off point, and then I was able to verify other things that were asserted. It turns out the guy who wrote the story for him is an attorney, so he knows a lot about it and all that. And yeah, but yeah, it has. I was really impressed.
I'd like to see the research on the effect of that on the jury.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised to run into that.
It makes a lot of sense, but it's such a tragedy for the victims.
Yeah, I'm shocked that it's so well known. I thought, well, they kind of explained a little bit of it on the show, and I'm trying to recall if because he did go into a little bit, and he lists like 3 reasons why, and I can't remember what I think in the video they list 3 reasons why the jury went with what they did, and I think the first one was they didn't understand a lot of the technical stuff. The expert witnesses they called, like the one DNA expert, that was before DNA was really common, and he just did such a poor job with that kind of thing. Yeah. And I think Simon might have made this case with that kind of thing. You don't want a scientist, you want an educator. because they're used to talking to people. And
Right.
yeah, the way this guy that was one of the things that they did bring up in that video was their DNA expert. He would just say, what was it? They asked him things like, were you at the scene? And they were trying to make it seem like this guy planted this evidence or some such.
Right. I remember that.
And he just said, yes. And it's like, you didn't, like, no, you say, yes, this is standard procedure. And this is why, because we gather evidence, we follow certain protocol. It has to be documented, chain of evidence, blah, 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 blah. You say all that. But he just said, they asked him, like, were you at the scene? He's like, yes. And just left it. And he was like, no, you don't do that. And then when he got up, one of the things I was unaware of, when he got up and left the stand, he hugged the prosecutors, both of them. Then he hugged the defending attorneys. Like, that just looks weird. I mean, you don't have to really slaughter the guy to a jury. That's just going to look like, wow, this guy's kind of odd. I believe he could plant evidence. I mean, because all they have to do is just a little seed. And yeah, of course, they were labeling everybody as being a racist. I mean, the assistant prosecutor, not Marcia Clark, but her buddy, which turns out they were apparently an item. That didn't help. They had one great evidence. It was a witness for the defendant, and the guy actually said, I heard these people arguing. And it's like, that would have been great. But the way he asks, did one of them sound black? And of course, the defense was able, how do you tell if somebody sounds black? And the thing is that this is the attorney is black. But he said, you're a racist and blah, blah, blah. And they were throwing the R word around like, and it's just like, don't ask for that. Does it sound like OJ? That's all you
Right.
need to say, not this crap.
Right. Oh my gosh. Well, you guys, hey, I've got a phone call I have got to take. It's important. So I am going to hop off. I'm going to try to be back tomorrow and kind of visit with you guys before I head out. But I love you all, and I
Love
hope
you
to
too.
see you soon. So
Love
I
you.
will catch you guys in a little bit.
See you later.
See ya.
Bye.
Yeah. Well, what
I'm
do you
gonna
guys
have to
think?
take off here. Oh, sorry.
Oh, it's fine. Go ahead.
No, I'm gonna have to take off here too. But Carol, I wanted to ask. I found that casual criminalist. I had to look at the word again
Okay.
because
Okay.
channels. I can just send it to you on Messenger, or I can put it in the chat. It's up to you.
Either way.
Okay. I will see you guys tomorrow. Have a great
Okay.
night.
You too. Well, Crystal, I hope we're getting closer to a knowing something with you soon.
Me too. I'm getting tired of having to sign amendments to the agreement for sale.
Okay. Yeah, I bet they're not real thrilled about it either.
Yeah.
No, well, this time I said, like, I'm still planning, I'm still trusting that we can still have a June 1st possession date
Okay.
for the seller or for the
Right
buyer.
on.
So
Okay.
she did sign the amendment. Yeah, it's she's been very patient.
Right on.
And for that, I'm so thankful for.
Right on.
It's just been a bit frustrating.
Oh yeah.
But Kim's been really helping me out, and if I can get certain things done this week through the week, I'm back to Saskatoon area on the weekend. So which has been helping.
Nice. Good. For helps. I'm all for.
Yeah.
What was the name of the place again?
She's closer to Saskatoon than I am.
Okay, and I thought Bisbee was a strange name, but okay.
Which?
Bisbee. It was the town I grew up in.
Oh.
It's
The small community I grew up in was called Turtleford.
okay. Never mind. Wow, the joke that would fly around high
Yeah.
school about that.
We have
And-
we have a town in Arkansas called Toadsuck. So I
Oh
think Arkansas has all y'all beat.
Well, sort of. Saskatchewan has some really strange town names. There's a community named Love.
Mm,
Oh, I like
Up
that.
close, yeah, up close to me, there was Mervyn and Live Long.
Oh, I like that too.
we got Y, WHY, which if you saw the part of Arizona, you would ask the same question: why?
I like it. And is that in Arizona?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it
Why
yeah,
Arizona?
it's out in the middle of nowhere. You think Bisbee's in the middle of nowhere? Ho 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 ho!
Yeah.
Well, you guys, what do you think? If we had a meeting,
Yes,
how
we
about you?
have.
How about you guys in the chat? Y'all feeling? I like casual. Like we tend to do casual days, and we don't have a certain day picked out. But I like them when they're kind of casual too. I like when we cover the heavy stuff. I'm into it, but they're kind of fun when they're light too.
Yeah.
Of course,
Yeah.
migraines. I didn't realize we had so many sufferers of that here.
Mm.
That's a real thing.
I am
I'm
really thankful for peer support.
yes.
One of the things that struck me was I've been going back and forth with a doctor, but she's not a specialist in her defense. But I was talking to somebody else who's ADHD, and she's also into the neuroscience thing, but she was able to list out tons and tons of symptoms. I was able to say, wow, yeah, I can see that, I can see that, I can see that. And the thing was, I just thought it was just my personality, that I blow things off. I don't remember. I'm a little undisciplined in this, but yet I have strengths in spotting patterns and aerial imagery and things like that. And it's like, holy crap, all this stuff she listed. And it's like, I've never seen a list like that online. Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. You guys, I better take this call.
Okay.
All right. Hate to rush off.
That's okay.
All right. I'll be right with you.
Okay. Do we have anything?
All right, you guys.
Take care. Have a great day.
You
Yes.
too.
Have a good day.
Okay.
Hello. Hey.
Hang on, you guys. You guys are on needing a meeting. Hang on. Thanks, you guys, for understanding. Good meeting. Thank you so much for being here. Hope to see you again next meeting. And until then, live long and prosper. I thought I'd change it up today.